Commissioner Gordon, Bane has escaped.
The realization that you were never designed to fit into the standard mold of a quiet and predictable life is the first step toward power. Others spend their entire existence trying to shrink their dreams so they do not upset the comfort of those who have already given up. You must reject the urge to be normal, because normalcy is a slow death for anyone with a spark of real hunger. To live a life of significance, you must be willing to walk away from the herd and embrace the cold silence of your own path. This decision to be different is a fundamental requirement for reaching your highest and most meaningful potential in this world. Staying in the safety of your current comfort zone is a dangerous choice that leads to a stunted character and a hollow spirit. If you do not actively seek out the friction of difficult challenges, you will find yourself aging without ever truly growing into a person of substance. You must intentionally place yourself in environments that demand more of you than you think you are currently capable of giving. This voluntary hardship is the only way to forge a level of resilience that can withstand the storms of a real and unforgiving life. Without the weight of pressure, your potential remains a theory that never produces any tangible or lasting results for your name. If you do not take the time to map out your own future, you are essentially handing over your life to a system that does not care. Society is a massive machine designed to turn your time and your energy into a resource for the benefit of the ordinary. You will find that if you have no plan for your hours, the world will fill them with tasks that keep you busy but never free. Reclaiming your sovereignty requires you to be ruthless with your focus and to refuse any invitation to participate in a life that feels too small. You are the architect of your destiny, and every brick must be laid with your own hands. Maturity is not a byproduct of getting older, but a result of how many difficult truths you have been willing to face and conquer. There are many individuals who reach their later years while still acting like children because they never allowed themselves to be tested by fire. You must break this pattern by choosing to do the hard things today so that you do not end up as an old person with no wisdom. Real growth happens in the moments when you are tired and alone, and yet you decide to keep moving toward your primary mission. This endurance builds an internal authority that cannot be faked or bought by anyone. The pressure to conform is a gravity that tries to pull every exceptional person back down to the level of the lost. You must develop a heart of iron that is immune to the judgments of those who are too afraid to leave the safety of the valley. Their criticism is often just a reflection of their own internal pain at seeing someone else actually have the courage to try for more. By standing firm in your own convictions, you are creating a shield that protects your vision from the corrosive influence of the uninspired. You are becoming a person of substance who is moved only by the logic of their own goals. Every uncomfortable situation you enter is a classroom where you learn the skills that will eventually allow you to lead with confidence. Whether it is a physical struggle or a mental challenge, you must lean into the resistance until it becomes your fuel. You are training your nervous system to stay calm in the middle of a conflict so that you can think clearly when others are in a panic. This emotional control is the hallmark of a master who has spent years perfecting the art of handling the unknown with a steady hand. You are no longer a victim of your environment, but a creator who shapes it. A life that is planned with intent is a life that possesses a level of depth and impact that is hard to imagine. You should be worried if your days look exactly like the days of everyone else, because it means you are not exploring your limits. Your unique talents were not given to you. so that you could hide them in a drawer and wait for a permission slip. You must be the one who decides when it is time to rise and when it is time to take what is yours through labor. The world is waiting for you to show up with the full force of your absolute drive. The fear of making a mistake is a hollow ghost that only has power over you if you value your ego more than progress. You must be willing to look foolish and to fail publicly so that you can gain the data required to eventually win at the highest level. Each time you fall and get back up, you are proving to the universe that you are a person of resolve who cannot be stopped. This grit is far more valuable than any natural talent because it ensures that you will finish the race when the rest have quit. You are building a legacy of action for yourself. Consider the person you want to be when you are at the end of your journey and looking back at your choices today. Do you want to be the one who played it safe and stayed comfortable, or the one who dared to live with intensity? This perspective provides the urgency needed to cut through the noise and focus on the work that actually moves the needle of your existence. You have nothing better to do than to work on a mission that justifies the struggle and the long nights. Every hour you spend building is an hour you are stealing back from an ordinary life. The search for the absolute limits of your own potential is the only mission that can give your existence a sense of true weight and meaning. You are carrying a massive amount of untapped energy that will remain locked away forever if you do not actively choose to test your boundaries. Most individuals live in a state of quiet sleep where they never discover the true scale of what they could have built with their own hands. You must decide that being a spectator in your own life is no longer an option if you want to reach the peak of your capacity. This journey of self-discovery is a relentless pursuit that demands your total focus and your highest level of daily commitment. Time is a river that flows in only one direction, and it will carry your life into the ocean of the forgotten if you do not grab the oars. If you are not intentional with every hour you are given, the world will automatically fill that space with distractions and useless noise. The default state of the human mind is to seek the path of least resistance, which leads directly to a life of hollow comfort and regret. You must treat your minutes like a rare currency that can either be invested in your future or thrown away on the trivial. Every second you spend without a clear purpose is a second that you are surrendering to the void of the ordinary. The desire to see what you can achieve is the fire that keeps you warm when the rest of the world has grown cold and indifferent. This curiosity about your own power is what separates the creators from those who are content to simply consume the work of others. You are not a finished product, but a work in progress that requires constant pressure and heat to reach a state of absolute perfection. By choosing to push yourself into new territories, you are expanding the map of what is possible for a human being in this age. This expansion is the primary reason for your presence here, and the only way to find a lasting sense of pride. When you take command of your schedule, you are taking command of your destiny and refusing to let chance dictate your final destination. A life without a plan is a tragedy waiting to happen because it relies on luck rather than the steady hand of a master architect. You must build a structure for your days that forces you to face the tasks that actually move the needle toward your vision. This discipline is not a burden, but a form of freedom that protects you from the chaos of a world that wants your attention. By being ruthless with your time, you are showing the universe that you are a person who is ready for authority. The internal friction you feel when you are working on a difficult goal is the sound of your old limitations breaking apart and falling away. This discomfort is the evidence that you are actually growing and moving closer to the person you were always meant to become in the end. If your life feels easy, it is a signal that you are playing a game that is too small for the magnitude of your soul. You must seek out the challenges that make your heart beat faster and your mind work harder than it ever has before today. This state of high intensity is where the true rewards of life are found and where your legacy is finally born. Waste is the silent killer of greatness, and it often looks like the harmless activities that society tells you are a normal part of life. You must develop a sharp eye for the things that steal your energy without providing any return on the investment of your spirit. Whether it is a shallow conversation or a digital distraction, you must be willing to walk away from anything that keeps you small. This selective focus allows you to channel all of your power into a single point of impact that can shatter any obstacle in your way. You are building a mind that is a precision tool for the conquest of your highest and best objectives. The rewards of testing your capacity are not just external trophies, but a deep and unshakable confidence in your ability to survive and win. When you have seen yourself overcome the impossible, you no longer fear the changes or the challenges that the world throws at you every day. This internal strength is the only real security you will ever have in a reality that is constantly shifting and moving under your feet. You are creating a version of yourself that can thrive in any environment because you have mastered the art of focused and deliberate action. This resilience is the hallmark of a leader who has decided to own their own future entirely. You must stop waiting for the perfect moment to start, because that moment is a ghost that will never actually appear in the real world. The only time you have to work with is the current second, and it is already slipping through your fingers as you wait for a sign. Take the tools you have and start building the life you want with a sense of urgency that borders on the divine today. Your potential will not wait for you to feel ready, and the world will not pause its movement to accommodate your hesitation or fear. By acting now, you are proving that you are a person of resolve who is worthy of a legacy. Every hour you spend in deep focus is an investment that will pay dividends for the rest of your existence on this earth. You are not just working for the result, but for the character you are forging in the heat of the daily grind and struggle. This person you are becoming is someone who can handle the weight of influence and the responsibility of being a true master of their craft. Do not let the small minds around you convince you that your ambition is too large or your goals are too high. You are the only one who knows the true extent of the fire that is currently burning in your own heart. The modern world is designed to harvest your focus and sell it to the highest bidder, while you are left with nothing but a distracted mind. You must realize that your attention is the only truly scarce resource you possess, and once it is gone, you can never buy it back. Every time you check a notification or scroll through a feed, you are giving away a piece of your life for absolutely zero return. This constant fragmentation of your awareness prevents you from ever building the deep mental capacity required to solve massive problems or create legendary work. You must treat your focus as a sacred treasure that must be guarded with a heart of iron and a mind of precision. Deep work is the only unfair advantage left in an age where the average person cannot focus on a single task for more than a few minutes. While the crowd is busy reacting to the noise of the digital world, you have the opportunity to descend into the silence of intense concentration. This state of flow is where masterpieces are created and where the most difficult skills are mastered with a speed that looks like magic to others. By committing to hours of uninterrupted effort, you are placing yourself in an elite category of people who actually move the world forward. This level of focus is the foundation of a life that is defined by substance and lasting impact. You must understand that the future and the past do not actually exist outside of the stories you tell yourself within your own mind. The past is a collection of memories that often serve as a cage, while the future is a set of projections that breed unnecessary anxiety. By dwelling on things that have already happened or things that might never occur, you are leaking the energy you need to win. The only reality that has any power to change your life is the one you are currently experiencing in this very breath and second. When you collapse your timeline into the present, you gain a clarity that allows you to act with absolute and total certainty. The present moment is the only arena where your will can interact with the physical world to produce a result that matters for your mission. If your mind is scattered across a dozen different places, you are effectively a ghost in your own life who has no real weight. You must learn to bring the full volume of your awareness to the task at hand until you and the work become a single entity. This presence is the currency of the now, and how you spend it determines the quality of the person you are becoming today. By owning your attention, you are taking the helm of your destiny and refusing to be a passenger in your own story. Think about how easily you give away your focus to people and things that do not contribute to your growth or your sense of peace. You are being bombarded by 1,000 different voices that all want a slice of your time so they can keep you small. If you do not have a filter for what you allow into your mind, you will find that your life is a mess of other people's priorities. You must be ruthless with your boundaries and say no to anything that does not align with the person you have decided to be. This selective focus is what allows you to channel your power into a single point that can break any obstacle. A life of deep work is a life of deep meaning because it requires you to use the full extent of your unique and powerful intelligence. You are not meant to be a superficial consumer of information, but a deep builder who leaves a mark on the fabric of human history. This intensity of focus creates a sense of pride that cannot be bought with money or found in the hollow praise of the masses. Every hour you spend in total concentration is a vote for your own sovereignty and a blow against the system that wants you distracted. You are training your brain to be a weapon of conquest in a world that has forgotten how to think. The regret that many feel at the end of their journey is almost always tied to the way they allowed their attention to be stolen by the trivial. They look back and see a million tiny moments where they chose the easy distraction over the meaningful struggle of the current and only moment. You have the chance to avoid this fate by deciding right now that your focus is the most valuable asset you will ever manage. This choice requires a level of discipline that will make you look strange to those who are still caught in the web of the ordinary. By embracing the solitude of deep work, you are securing a future that is entirely of your own making. Your ability to stay present determines your ability to see the opportunities that others miss because they are too busy looking at their screens. Life is constantly offering you the tools and the connections you need to reach the peak of your capacity, but you must be awake to see them. When you are fully anchored in the now, you develop an intuition that guides you toward the actions that move the reward closer to you. This heightened awareness is a superpower that gives you an edge in any environment and against any challenge the world throws your way. You are no longer drifting through time, but commanding it with a heart of iron and focus. Mastering your attention is the ultimate act of Respect, because it shows that you value your own potential more than the noise of the crowd. You are refusing to let your mind be a garbage dump for the opinions and the dramas of people who are not going where you are going. This internal cleanliness allows you to maintain a level of energy and drive that is impossible for the distracted and the lost to sustain. You are building a mental fortress that protects your vision from the corrosive influence of a society that thrives on your constant and heavy confusion. By owning your focus, you are proving that you are a person of substance. The gap between a brilliant thought and the first physical action is the space where most dreams go to die a quiet death. You must realize that an idea has no value until it is tested against the cold reality of the world through a direct and immediate effort. The longer you wait to begin, the more time you give for doubt and hesitation to poison your mind and slow your momentum. Speed is the only metric that matters when you are trying to outpace the average life and build something that will last. You must develop a bias for action that forces you to move before you feel ready or certain of the final outcome. The obsession with perfection is a trap that keeps you anchored in a state of passive thinking while others are gaining ground. You are conditioned to believe that you need more information or a better plan before you can step into the arena of real work. In truth, the only way to gain the clarity you seek is to start building and let the feedback from the market guide your hands. Every second spent in overthinking is a second stolen from the actual progress that only comes through the heat of the grind. You must learn to value the rough draft over the polished theory, because the draft is the only thing that exists. Failure is not the opposite of success, but the vital data required to refine your strategy and sharpen your aim for the next attempt. You must embrace the process of falling down and getting back up as a necessary part of your training for a life of authority. Each time you fail, you are uncovering a path that does not work, which brings you one step closer to the path that actually leads to victory. The fear of looking foolish is a hollow ghost that only has power over those who do not have a mission larger than their ego. You are a scientist of your own life, and every experiment is a contribution to your growth. Experimenting with new ideas is the only way to stay ahead of a world that is constantly shifting and moving under your feet. You cannot rely on the old ways of doing things if you want to achieve a level of sovereignty that others can only dream of reaching. You must be willing to try things that have never been done before and to risk your comfort for the sake of a higher truth. This spirit of exploration is what drives the expansion of your soul and the depth of your unique and powerful impact. By testing your limits, you are proving to the universe that you are ready for a higher level. Learning is a byproduct of doing, rather than a separate phase that must be completed before you are allowed to enter the game. You gain a deeper understanding of a skill when you are forced to use it to solve a problem that is standing in your way today. This active learning is far more effective than the passive consumption of facts that have no bridge to your current and urgent needs. You must treat every challenge as an opportunity to acquire a new tool that will make you more dangerous in the pursuit of your goals. This mental agility is the foundation of a character that can thrive in any environment. The cycle of building and learning is the spine of human evolution and the only way to escape the gravity of a small life. When you commit to this process, you are participating in the same drive that led our ancestors to conquer the earth and reach for the stars. You are not meant to be a static observer of reality, but a dynamic force that shapes it through the power of your focused will. This constant movement forward creates a momentum that is impossible to stop once it has gained a certain level of intensity. You are becoming a person who is defined by the quality of their output. Ultimate freedom is the reward for the person who has mastered the ability to turn a thought into a result with zero hesitation. When you no longer have a gap between your intent and your action, you have gained a level of power that looks like magic to the lost. You are no longer a victim of your own moods or the circumstances of your environment because you have the tools to change them. This self-reliance is the only true security you will ever have in a world that is designed to keep you dependent. By owning your execution, you are taking full command of the ship of your own destiny. The speed of your execution determines the speed of your transformation from a person who wants to a person who has achieved. You do not have the time to wait for a perfect moment that will never arrive because the clock is always ticking against your potential. You must act now with the resources you have and the intelligence you currently possess to move the needle toward your vision. Every small win builds the confidence required to take on larger and more difficult projects that will define your name for years. You are building a monument to your own resolve through the simple act of starting. If you can decrease the time it takes to move from a concept to a physical reality, you will find that your life changes at a rate that is terrifying. You will accomplish more in a single year than others do in a whole decade of waiting and planning for a future that stays away. This efficiency is the mark of a master who understands that time is the only resource that cannot be replaced or bought back. You must guard your seconds with a ferocity that borders on the divine and use them only for the mission. You are the architect of your own rise, and the speed is your weapon. Everything about your reality is waiting for you to decide that you are finished with being a talker and ready to be a builder. This message found you today so that you could finally master the art of cold ambition and take what is rightfully yours. By closing the gap between your ideas and your actions, you are proving that you have finally mastered the art of cold ambition and are ready. Your potential is not a dream, but a physical fact that is ready to be realized through your labor and your will. This is your time to step into the light and show the world